we could see it crashing up against a lot of these coastal areas. So this is going to be something that we're watching for the next several hours, even into the next couple of days, as that water begins to displace, and then we start to see where it ends up. But again, that initial tsunami warning that came in earlier this morning because of the particular one that we had, I'll move out the way and I'll kind of back it up for you there. That was the one that came in. That was a little closer again, Humboldt County near Eureka. That one came in at a 7 magnitude, which is pretty significant. And we even had people here in our newsroom that were talking about that they felt it. So I'll back it up again for you, Dom, and we'll pick it up again. And here it is, right? So we move in just a little closer there. Everything in the orange shading there, that is a tsunami warning, meaning that a tsunami is possible or is already occurring. We had several different earthquakes that happened. The larger the red circle that you see there, the more prominent the earthquake. The initial one coming in just near Rio Del. And then you can see a few more just off the coastline there. And there are several of them, but the largest ones, again, all coming in at 10:44 in the morning from a 6 magnitude to a 7 magnitude. They start to move down to the south just between Ukiah and Santa Rosa. That one, the magnitude was around 1.4, not as prominent as the ones up on the northern coastal areas, but still something that we have to continue to watch. And again, that tsunami warning does include North Bay locations. That's going to be San Francisco, parts of the East Bay, all the way down to the Half Moon Bay. So been a very interesting morning, Dom, and typically we have several aftershocks that continue to happen. So that'll be something that we're watching throughout the morning, and we'll continue to give you updates on it.
All right, Tracy, thanks for breaking that down. Actually, speaking of the Bay Area, right now we want to go to some live pictures from our sister station, KPIX, in the Bay Area. Right now they're over Highway 1 in the Pacifica area. You can see a lot of traffic. I believe that's going northbound. Southbound, it looks like the road is completely closed right now because there's just no cars on there right now. So just to recap, Tracy kind of went over it, but again, a strong earthquake felt across Northern California. 2 of them actually, one of them in the Ferndale area. It's a small city in the coastal Humboldt County area. And then another near the Oregon border, or that's near the Oregon border. All this coming from the U.S. Geological Survey. Again, right now you're looking at live pictures. This is from the Pacifica area, Highway 1, huge traffic jam in the northbound lanes there right now. Again, Tracy showed us that area that has a tsunami warning right now. That is about 600 miles long, goes all the way from about mid-Oregon all the way down to the Santa Cruz area. And I'm sorry, what was that, Lindsay? Okay, so we have a slide right now. Okay, so right now we're looking at Devil's Slide, that area right now, everyone. Half Moon Bay area. Sorry, this information's coming in by the minute. But for now, let's go back to Tracy, actually, and just give us a little more perspective on what exactly this is. I mapped that out. I couldn't believe how long of an area that tsunami warning is. 600 miles, Santa Cruz, all the way up to like middle of Oregon.
Yeah, that is a particularly long line, right? And we all know that California is a hotbed when you start talking about earthquakes, and it's not uncommon that you get several around the same immediate area. So this one's well off the northwestern corner of the state. It came in around 10:44 in the morning. We'll take a look at some of the oh, okay, we're zooming in a little bit there, but here's a look at one of our weather graphics. It does a really good job of kind of showing you where everything is. You have a tsunami watch, you have a tsunami advisory, and you have a tsunami warning, and that's exactly what we have right now. That warning remains in effect for the coastal areas of California and Oregon from Davenport, California, which is located about 10 miles northwest of Santa Cruz, to Douglas line of Oregon, which is located about 10 miles southwest of Florence. Now, that tsunami warning means that a tsunami is possible or is already occurring. That tsunami warning is in effect for some counties that are pretty close to us, like Alameda, San Francisco, San Mateo, and Sonoma counties. So even though it happened well up near Eureka, those are some counties that have some very populated areas, and of course that is the San Francisco Bay Area. That tsunami warning is in effect until 11:24 on Sunday. The tsunami warnings mean that a tsunami with significant inundation is possible or is already occurring. Tsunamis are a series of waves dangerous for many hours after the initial arrival time. And the first wave may not be the largest. As of 10:44, that's when we had one of the most significant earthquakes that were just off the coastline. And then we had one near Rio Dell, and then we had several more in the Pacific Ocean. But they all came in around the same time frame, all with similar depth. The first two with similar depth. And you can see the magnitude from 6 that came in with the one just near Rio Dell, and then the couple that we have off the coastline there coming in with a magnitude around 7. So our particular graphic showing that there are estimated tsunami start times for particular locations, and San Francisco, California has a estimated tsunami start time of 12:10 this afternoon, right? So this all occurred at 10:44, the first initial, some of the largest ones. Now we take a look, we get a little bit closer to the Bay Area. This is well north of Santa Rosa, but coming in just south of Ukiah. This one not as strong, but it lets you know that everything is still in play. And it's all running adjacent to the San Andreas fault line, right? Which is well up off the coast, but it also makes its way down near the Bay Area. So that tsunami warning in effect until Sunday, 11:24 in the morning. That does include Alameda, San Francisco, San Mateo, as well as Sonoma County. So pretty busy morning for us, Dom. We're going to continue to watch it for you and give you the latest. I wouldn't be surprised if we had several more earthquakes, maybe not as large as the initial one, but we'll be having several more earthquakes happening across the region, as we do tend to have more aftershocks. But tsunami warning is a pretty big deal. So people who live along those coastal areas are going to have to be extremely mindful and extra vigilant over the course of the next several hours as we continue to monitor what's happening. But
some people in our area did see it. Well, I want to show you some video right now out of Stockton, and we're getting this in. This shows, I believe, a pool, and you can see it's shaking right there. This was when, do we know what time this hit? Okay, well, this is some video out of Stockton that we're getting, but you can see just kind of that water moving right now. Again, what we know so far is 2 pretty big earthquakes have hit, and a lot of that information just coming in. I'm seeing on Twitter right now, actually, a lot of video of people on the coast, on the beach, looking and maybe waiting for any big waves. That is not something to do. It's probably best to get to high ground. Again, that tsunami warning is going from about Santa Cruz all the way up to the middle of Oregon. Not something to be messed with. But again, some pretty big breaking news right now. 2 major earthquakes. One of them was reported in Lake County. That was a magnitude 5.8. Then another one was in Humboldt County. That was a magnitude 7.0. And as Tracy was saying, wouldn't be surprised if we feel some aftershocks after that. And, you know, I know you worked in San Francisco. You're no stranger to that, right, Tracy?
And it all depends on, you know, the bedrock, right? San Francisco, especially near the marina, a lot of that's filled in. So they don't get the same type of shaking that we would get here on the valley floor, where we have a little bit more solid bedrock. But I remember living in the marina, and it almost felt like you were undulating. If you've ever been on a flotation device in the ocean, and you know how a wave comes in and all of a sudden it kind of ripples, that is what it felt like for me. Now, the governor has activated the Office of Emergency Management, which I would imagine is going to give us a little bit more help statewide as far as what's happening and what could happen and the people who might be in harm's way. That tsunami warning, again, that came in earlier this morning because we did have a pretty prominent earthquake just off the coastline. So that tsunami warning issued for the Northern California, Oregon coast, and it's pretty far reaching, as Don was saying, well up near Eureka, all the way down near Santa Cruz. And that particular earthquake that came in, that was around 10:44 in the morning, that tsunami warning, even though the earthquake occurred this morning, that warning is in effect until just shy of 11:30 on Sunday morning. And that does include very populated areas. We're talking about Alameda, you're talking about San Francisco, San Mateo, and Sonoma County. So this particular graphic will show you the shading here. You show exactly where the tsunami warning is, and we'll take a look at some of the most prevalent earthquakes that we saw earlier just this morning. So we had the first one that came in, and that one was just along the immediate coastline here. And then we had several more that just kind of rippled off the coastline there. And they're out in the Pacific. But look at just how significant they were. Magnitude 7.0. And then all of them coming in at the exact same time, 10:44 this morning. And now you move down to the south. We had another one that came through. That one came through at 11:34. Not nearly as significant because it's not as strong, but it tells the story, which is we could be looking at more aftershocks that could get closer to more populated areas. Now you take a look at Santa Rosa. It is included in that orange shading there. That is the tsunami warning. That's going to be areas moving in near Sausalito. That's going to be Tiburon. That's going to be moving into San Francisco. That's also just outside of Oakland. This is Fremont. That's San Jose. That's Half Moon Bay. So those are some pretty significant areas when you start talking about population and the amount of people that could be impacted. So as we move in a little bit closer, that tsunami warning, again, that was issued earlier this morning, but it will be in effect all the way until 11:24 on Sunday morning. That is Alameda, again, San Francisco, San Mateo, all the way down to Santa Cruz. And having lived in that area, I'm sure a lot of people are immediately thinking, okay, what do I need to do to make myself safe? So if you're along that immediate coastline, you could be looking at waves undulating, moving in various heights. If that's the case, you want to make sure you're nowhere near that. And also keep in mind, if you do have, my graphic moved in a little closer than I wanted it to, but you have to keep in mind that if you do have any family and friends in those areas, you want to let them know what you know, just in case people at work, they may not know there's a tsunami warning happening in their area. So if that's the case, you want to make sure that you reach out to family and friends who might be in the Bay Area. Again, that tsunami warning will be in effect until 11:24 on Sunday morning. So Dom, a lot of things to consider. We don't have this often here, but it's wonderful that the state even has this, all of this program up and running that we can give you warnings like this.
Absolutely. And actually, we just got word from Governor Gavin Newsom, and want to read a statement he just released on X just a few minutes ago. He is saying officials with Cal OES are actively responding to the earthquakes this morning in Northern California. Californians should follow guidance from local emergency responders. And on Twitter, I'm looking at the Marin County Sheriff's Office. They're really trying to get this out, this tsunami warning that is issued for the ocean and bay coastlines. And they're saying a tsunami is expected around noon, coming up here in just about 15 minutes. They say if you're on a beach or near a coast, evacuate immediately. If you're unable to go, if unable to go to higher ground, go to a second floor, just try and get higher, something like that. Actually, these are live pictures coming in from the coast. This is near Highway 1 over Pacifica. This is from our sister station, KPIX. And earlier we saw just a huge traffic jam in the northbound lanes. We're not quite sure of road closures in the area, but the southbound lanes, we didn't see a single car. So we're not quite sure if cars can't get through in that area around Pacifica on Highway 1 or exactly what's going on. But again, I want to read the tsunami warning from the Marin County Sheriff. They're saying they're expecting it to come in about 14 minutes from now. So if you can get to higher ground, get to higher ground. If you can't get to higher ground, go to the second floor, something like that, whatever you can do to just make yourself safe. So again, these are live pictures coming in from the Pacifica area near Highway 1.